Welcome to the Interreligious Dialogue with Islam. Assalamualaikum. Today, I would like to share to you which very interesting to know about the different tribes of Islam in the Philippines. According to the 2012 estimate by the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos or NCMF, there were 10.7 million Muslims in the Philippines. That is approximately 11% of the total population of the archipelago composed of 7,107 islands. Most Muslims live in parts of Mindanao, Palawan, and the Hulu archipelago, an area known as Bangsamoro or the Moro region. While some have migrated into urban and rural areas in different parts of the country. Islam was first brought by Arab traders in the late 13th and early 14th centuries, 200 years before the Spanish invasion. These Muslim merchants originally came from present-day Malaysia and Indonesia. They landed in the Sulu Islands and preached Islam to the indigenous population and built the first mosque in the Philippines in the town of Simeonol in Tawi-Tawi in the mid-14th century. The Islamic propagation reached as far as the Kingdom of Tondo in current-day Manila in Luzon, in the northern Philippines. Muslims in the Philippines are mostly located in the islands of Mindanao. There are 13 Muslim tribes: the Iranon, Magindanaon, Maranao, Tausug, Sama, Yakan, Jamamapun, Kaagang, Kalibugan, Sangil, Mulbog, Palawani, and Badjao. Collectively, they are also known as the Bangsamoro people. In Davao City, a sizable population of the Iranon can be found in Maa and Sirawan, Turil. The others could be found in Metro Manila and even in other countries around the world. The Maguindanao people are part of a wider Moro ethnic group who constitute the sixth largest Filipino ethnic group. Their name means people on the flood plains. Maranao, the largest of the Muslim cultural linguistic groups of the Philippines, numbering more than 840,000 in the late 20th century. They live around Lake Lanao on the southern island of Mindanao. Rice farming is their main livelihood, along with metalworking and woodworking handicrafts. Tausug, also spelled Tausug or Tausug, also called Holoanu, Sulu or Sulu, one of the largest of the Muslim, sometimes called Moro, ethnic groups of the southwestern Philippines. They live primarily in the Sulu archipelago, southwest of the island of Mindanao, mainly in the Hulu Island cluster. The Sama live mainly in the southern half of the Sulu archipelago, in the southwestern Philippines, although significant populations also lead along the coast of northeastern Borneo. primarily in the Malaysian state of Sabah, where they are known as Bajau. The Yakan people are among the major indigenous people, ethno-linguistic groups in the Sulu, the last tribes of Mindanao, the Yakan, mountain dwellers. Jama Mapun is from the word Jama, meaning people, and Mapun, which indicates the name of the island municipality of Mapun, thus called the people of Mapun. They are one of the Bangsamoro ethnic tribes in the Philippines. They are the Sama-speaking people, widely known for their creativity and traditions. The Kagan people are the ethnic group of the southeastern part of the Philippines, known as Davao region. They are one of the Muslim minority groups in Mindanao and belong to the 13 Muslim Moro tribes of the Bangsamoro family. The Kalibugan of Philippines, numbering 29,000, are engaged yet unreached. They are part of the Filipino Muslim people cluster within the Malay People's Affinity Bloc. This people group is only found in Philippines. Their primary language is Kalibugan Subanon. The primary religion practiced by the Kalibugan is Islam, a monotheistic religion built around the teachings of the Quran and of the Prophet Muhammad. Sangil descended from Sangihi, an archipelago in eastern Indonesia, from where they hailed. The tribe was already Muslim long before they came to the Philippines, and ahead of the introduction of Islam to Mindanao. The Mulbog, also called Milibugano, are found in the Malabak Island groups in southern Palawan, where they are estimated to number 5,292 in 1990. The national population is 6,795 in 1980. The Mulbog are Islamic in religion. The agricultural base of the people is rather poor and the population density is very low. Muslims in Palawan. In recent decades, Muslims have begun to settle in northern Palawan. In early 1980s, the first mosque was established in Puerto Princesa City. 5 more have since appeared. Several cater to specific ethnic groups, while others have a mixed clientele. At present, the Bajau are the most marginalized ethnic group and one of the poorest tribes in the Philippines. A Muslim tribe that is shunned by almost everyone. Still gypsies, but also named tramps and thieves.
The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao is an area on the island of Mindanao and the Sulu Archipelago in the southern Philippines. It is affected for decades by armed conflict. The main rebel group, the More Islamic Liberation Front, has been fighting for the self-determination of the Bangsamoro Muslims for a very long time. So after 20 years of negotiations, finally the recent peace talks resulted in this new territory with enhanced powers. The More Islamic Liberation Front, the MILF, they are now in charge of running an interim government. The Bangsamoro itself is something like a construct. It is basically an expression for 13 ethno-linguistic groups in the southern Philippines. They have in common that they're Islamized, but their difference between them, even in terms of dialect, in terms of culture, and every region is dominated by families. And some of these families have amassed a lot of power and wealth, and they are maybe the kingpins. And the MILF needs to take their interests into account somehow and work with them or find somehow a modus vivendi to coexist. Because the big question will be, how will the clans prepare for the elections? What will be their positions, their attitudes? How will their role be accommodated in this emerging peace framework? And I think that makes this time right now very exciting, but I think everybody agrees that the chance to find a compromise is now, and there's a lot at stake. So people give also their trust into the momentum of the peace process, hoping that the transitional authority will consider everybody's position in the peace process in order to ensure that everybody is on board and no one is left behind.
These are the 13 tribes of Muslim in the Philippines. Sayang, I was not able to visit and experience their dynamic cultural system of living. However, I learned something about the different tribes of Islam in the Philippines. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.